Good morning. Welcome to yet another beautiful week of learning. Today is a magical Monday. Today is also the day when we start the most important book of this season, which is Letting Go. This book is very inclusive of every possible learning. So I can just tell you that now that this 1 month is left for all of us to come together and learn, we're getting these amazing books to learn, letting go, and if we should choose. If we do these two books very well, we are sorted for life. And that's my intention. And that's what I hope that all of us take away with our learning. So more power to all of us. And on this note, let's do our Power of Dreams programming. Let's manifest a desire by seeing it come true. And let's feel the feeling. Let's start our morning. How wonderful. May all our dreams come true. May they all come to fruition. And may we learn a lot every morning and take away a lot of abundant, rich learnings and teachings. So let's start our morning with the first book in order, Refuse to Choose. This book is making us understand why we are refusing to choose the life that we love. Deep inside in our mind, it's already there that we love what we're doing, but yet we are not doing what we love. Why? Are we too busy to do what we love? What is stopping us? Yesterday, we read a couple of reasons why we are not choosing what we are loving. And we had those 6 point programs that we have understood. We had a couple of sciences also to understand how to surrender to the process and how to go about it. Today is chapter number 5, Too Busy to Do What I Love. So there's a letter signed from a family sent to her, and in fact, a lot of people, others. And they were all generic mass people. It had a loving dad, it had a husband, it had an employee, homeowner, citizens, everyone. They say, Dear Barbara, I'd love to follow your advice and go after all my dreams, but I don't have time to go after any one of them. By the time my wife and I finished with getting the kids off to school, fulfilling the demands of our jobs, maintaining our home, paying bills, and helping the kids with schoolwork, we can't decompress enough to remember what we want, even if we had the time to do it. How do you do things you love when you don't have time in your life or space in your brain? Very beautiful question, and let's see the answer. So many of us are simply very, very busy in our lives to find a moment for our dreams. When you have too much to do, finding time to get involved in things you love isn't an option. Even when you do have time, you can't remember how to use it for yourself. Now add this to the equation and you've got a life with no free time at all. That's reality, or is it? So all of you will agree that we are so busy becoming parents and becoming, the breadwinners and whatever. We give our own selves the last priority, be it health, wealth, personal, financial, anything. In this chapter, you're going to learn some things that may surprise you. First, feeling hurried and harried isn't entirely the result of having so much to do. Many people do as much in a state of calmness. Second, when you're too rushed to think clearly, you lose any sense of what doesn't have to be done and pile on more work than necessary. You even need more downtime when you are constantly in a state of controlled alarm because you're not nourished by what you're doing, you're drained by it. So, have you ever realized yourselves when you are in this humdrum activity, ye karna, ye karna, ye karna, ye karna, rush, rush, rush? You're just ticking off check marking. But are you really enjoying what you're doing, or is it like a mundane lifestyle with just to do lists going one after the other? But talking is cheap. How can a busy person do anything about it? So if there is so much that I have to do, how do I find so little time for myself? Because I'm in the process of mechanically doing stuff. I haven't given time even an hour or two to do things that I love. So the truth is, overworked people are scared. They're scared of forgetting to do something or not meeting a deadline or letting someone down. They're scared of being overwhelmed, of things careening out of control. That's why they never think to make their lives easier or more fun. They just add one more responsibility on and on and on, over and over and over again. So, very important for us to understand that we're in this journey in our life and we have to do some things for our soul. We have to do some things for our heart. Yes, we have responsibilities, but even responsibilities that are carried out from your heart and your soul will make you a better doer. And this complete rush activity, ab ye karna, ab ye karna, will rob of our peace. And people who are happy, content, easy, now in that, they can do things much more, right? Depends upon the attitude. I'm not saying happy go lucky, easy and fatigued and not doing something like that. I'm not saying like that. But somebody who's out there who knows what to do. Let's have more clarity on what we've read this morning. Let's have clarity with stories. Ruchi, start reading the Jeff story, please. Thank you.
When Jeff stepped out of his car, arms full of groceries, two kids fighting in the back seat, I could see his nerves were frayed. And who could blame him? This goes on every day, he said as I stepped up to take a bag from him. All day. He skillfully got the family into the house without interrupting their fight. I was filled with admiration and herded me into the kitchen. I choose that word carefully, and you will see why. There is no schedule on earth that's going to make me less busy. Consider this a challenge. But I have had a lot of practice with people like Jeff, and I spotted one clue right away. As I said, he herded me. He had a symptom common among people with too much to do. Instead of reducing the number of tasks on his plate, he added to them. That is, instead of rushing into the kitchen and letting me follow him or pointing in the direction he wanted me to go, he herded me as if I would try to escape out the window. When I pointed it out to him, he blushed and apologized. I'm sorry, I just get in control mode and I'm on automatic pilot. You mean you forget that anything you can get done unless you push it? What a heavy load you carry. No wonder you're so busy. Have you ever considered letting things run on their own and using some of that energy toward things you really want to do? Sure. And then I wake up. Come on, Barbara, do you think I could paint or write a novel with all this going on? Or start my own business? Who would take care of the other stuff? You see, what I have to do just to keep this house together. And boom, there goes my weekend. That's reality when you have little kids. Or is it? Why does it feel like you are driving an ambulance and someone's life is at stake? When the problem is only lunch or diapers or getting the babysitter home. Why are some people in the same situation calmer than Jeff is? Although Jeff's feelings are so common that everyone who has ever been in his situation remembers them well, this need for control is a little odder than it appears to be.
Now tell me something. If today Jeff is unwell, will his house still continue? Is anyone indispensable? Today, if I want, today, say if I fall sick and if I'm running the family, if I'm running, cooking the house, do you think my children will go without a meal or my husband will go without a meal? There are a world of opportunities. इतना stuck up होना And अपने आप को time नहीं देना, you are telling your children also that you don't value self, you don't have self-worth. If you start putting yourself on priority as a parent or as a person, you're telling the other person, I deserve time, I deserve attention, this is my time. Today, you eat whatever you want, Swiggy eat, do whatever, but today is my time. I can go deeper, I can meditate, I can do things. But in this idea of checklist, dusting done, jhadu pocha done, food made, send this to maid, clothes washed. One day the clothes aren't washed, one day the food is not cooked. How does it matter? I know it's a responsibility, but how does it matter? Let's look at what's wrong with Jeff. And Jeff's tension can't be taken at face value. Overwhelming feelings of busyness and never what they seem. The situation seems to be causing the nervousness, but the opposite is usually true. Now, if you make busyness your business, how can you flourish in life? You're all the time busy. You're all the time busy. To break away from the business of being busy, you've got to take it out of your life and just go easy. Whenever you're busy, just say, no, I'm easy. Whenever you have lack of time, say, no, I have a lot of time, I'll do it. Let's start talking positively. Yes, agreeable that Jeff is busy, but all the time, he does a lot of things he doesn't need to do. Value your stuff. What are you doing? Can you delegate that job to somebody else? If you're spending 2 hours in cooking food, which realistically people say, oh, I take just 15 minutes, but chopping, preparing, it takes time. Now, those 2 hours are very important hours of your life. But instead of hiring a maid who can come and cook for those 2 hours, you're doing it yourself. And you're robbing yourself of your me time. How to take out time in your busy calendar depends upon you. There are so many women in the world who are professionally busy, who are doing their jobs and then you're coming back and doing stuff. You can still be planned. You can give yourself time. Jeff, to me, says that he wastes hours of every night searching the internet for get rich quick schemes. For example, he thinks he has to give his job, his kids his attention when he's with them. And he doesn't realize that if he did that, what he loved while he was with them, they might get a lot of value out of it. Jeff said, sometimes I stay awake at night thinking of all the terrible things that could happen if I didn't keep everything under control. Were you always like that? Me? No way. I was always a kid without a care. So what happened to him? When did all that change? So when did you become this busy person? I'm telling you in life, everyone, if you don't make yourself important right now, there will come a time you'll be forced to make yourself important. If you don't invest in your health right now, step by step, bit by bit, there will come a time that you will have to take a pause and you'll be hospitalized and something will come up. Because when you're tense, you're stressed, you're going to invite a dis-ease in your body. Which part of your body do you want to make yourself a priority? That depends completely upon you. So Ruchi, you can read from when did you become this busy person? Kab bane hum busy? Let's go
It's
with
a
the process.
question I ask every exhausted scanner, and the answer is always revealing. I was the baby in a big family of hard workers, but nobody noticed what I did. So, except for school, I was a really free kid. I would often wander over to the church theater and offer to do anything they needed, from moving furniture to painting sets to helping the actors learn their lines. I loved that. Jeff also loved animals and spent hours at a neighbor's house playing with their dogs. He learned guitar on his own and wrote songs and even wrote a musical when he was a teenager. And then one day, when he was 14, his last sibling left and he was the only one at home. My folks were old by that time and sick, but my dad still worked really hard and my mom wouldn't stop taking care of the house. I woke up to the hardship in the family, and that's when I stepped out of Eden, he admitted. I gave up all the fun stuff and tried to figure out how to make enough money for my dad to retire. Since then, I've been very driven. I always feel a sense of urgency, like I have to stay on top of everything or there will be some kind of calamity. We don't all experience Jeff's kind of responsibility before we become adults, but many of us have feelings that are strikingly similar. I think we are all shocked to find out how much we are responsible for when we grow up. And even more when we have children. We feel like kids trying to be as capable as grown-ups. For all of us, there was a time before we were giving responsibilities. Some of us lost it when a younger sibling was born, others when we entered school, some not until much later. But there was a point when you stepped out of that Eden of having nothing expected of you and into a sudden need to stay ahead of your mistakes. The shock of that change is rarely given the respect it deserves. And I think it's the source of many missteps that busy people take. Let's start out by trying to locate when it happened for you. Without giving it too much thought, try to remember the last time you were free of that busy feeling, doing things you enjoyed without having to schedule them. How old were you? Describe the feeling of freedom you had. Now memorize that feeling because I want you to visit it at least once a day. Remember when you sat on the steps at the evening, grew dark, or played with your dog and had nothing else to do? And visit that memory. Because when you forget what easiness feels like, you're always in emergency mode and can't even think of what you really want or how to find the time to get it. It's like trying to read a book of poetry in a burning building. It just doesn't occur to you. But the building isn't really burning, it only seems that way.
So we have made ourselves like, the sacred ones. कि हमारे बिना तो कुछ हो नहीं सकता. सेल्फ इम्पोर्टेंस दी हुई है. मैं ये नहीं बोलती हम इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं हैं, बट कहाँ इम्पोर्टेंट दे रखी है? Where have you given yourself importance? Without you, everything is possible. Nobody in this world is not replaceable. So it's very important to start doing what we love. Unfortunately, we are so busy in our responsibilities that we forget about it. It's very important for us to remind ourselves this is my time. That's why initially when we joined this program, I sent out my organizer with you that, in my organizer, yes, I'm looking after my business or my house, everything, but I have a lot of me time, time with nature, time for manifestation, time for breathing, time for meditation. You have to make yourself a priority. And if you can't simply relax, something special is going to go on. What's going to happen? जब हम relax करते हैं, तो special चीजें are coming in our life. But when we are busy, then the special things are going very far from our life. Life is going on right now when we are happily being busy and we're missing these most important opportunities, these moments, by just whiling them away. So let's see how stress and anxiety play a role. Yes, please.
When you find you simply can't relax, something special is going on. Stress and anxiety are the cousins of fear. Fear comes when you have a sense of danger. Overly busy people describe that danger is in roughly the same way. I have to shop, pick up the kids, get dinner and homework, and then get that report ready because tomorrow I have to present it and I'm not ready. And the dog has to go to the vet. And my sister broke her foot, so I'll pick her up on the way to work. And what that means is something is about to go out of control and the result will be disaster. That fear puts us into survival mode and prevents us from calmly finding solutions. But if you could find what's blocking you and visit the feeling I want you to memorize, you would be able to lighten your load. Let's look at why you make yourself busier than you are. You pile it on to prove you're not a bad person. You pile it on to see how much you can handle. You want to push yourself until you collapse. Then they will know how hard you work. You are speeding and it feels utterly necessary, but you can't remember why. Where is that feeling coming from? You might be holding down feelings of fear or helplessness, even a sense of loss of that easy childhood you can barely remember. The control you're afraid of losing is often the control over that feeling. That little kid inside you is reacting just as he or she did when you were first shocked by responsibility and afraid you wouldn't be able to handle it. Man or woman, when you're too busy and stressed for too long, sometimes you want to put your head down and cry. And somewhere inside you know it. What you don't know is that a few tears would melt your stress like hot water melts an icicle. Even a sincere Sorrowful sigh will help. What do you have to cry about? Maybe nothing. More than you're tired of being worried all the time. Any kids know that.
Very important to get this part right. We are so busy thinking, harrowing ourselves down that, oh, ye भी responsibility है, ये करना है, ये करना है, ये करना है, ये करना है. And we've forgotten कि हम कौन है, हमारा अस्तित्व. We've forgotten ourselves. There's so many things that we want to do for ourselves, but we've put them down under because we're like, no, there's no time for this. Now it's time for my responsibility. Life goes on. Take responsibility, but only to a point where you're not making yourself claustrophobic. If you start becoming a controller, you will never be able to relax in life. So if you think that you're a controller in life, कि ये ऐसे ही होना चाहिए, अगर आपके दिमाग में ऐसी विचारधारणा है, it means it's time for self correction. किसने बोला ऐसे होना चाहिए? कहाँ लिखा हुआ है? मैंने सोचा, समझा, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी समाज में देखा तो मुझे लगता है ऐसे होना चाहिए. बट अगर किसी का कोई और पहलू है, नजरिया, so let me look at that also. हमारा जो inner child है is now so tired of not being looked after, is so tired of not being loved, is not able to grow. And when the inner child is happy, it's very important to grow. Have you ever seen those people who are like the light, who are always cracking jokes? How you feel when you come out of the company? इतना अच्छा लगा, वो इतना हंसाया उन्होंने. It was so amazing. Because you are meant to love, laugh, live. But you've forgotten that laughter. Because you're so busy, you're so stressed out. Now, if you're stressed out or you're busy, how will laughter come in? How will a smile come in? They're absolute two different camps. So sometimes it's important to let go. And that's where today's journey will start on letting go. And tomorrow we'll all understand about this micro nervous system and what happens to us and how should we understand us. Right now, what we've understood is that it's okay to shed a few tears because tears melt the walls that you've built around your heart, the fortress you build around. Oh, I'm strong. I can do this. I can do this. I can do that. You need to become easy. You need to detox yourself. And how do we detox ourselves and do we become better? Tomorrow is well about that. But today I want us to go inside and see, are we controllers? Are we guided too much by do's and don'ts? And do we have time for ourselves? Have we given ourselves priority enough? Thank you, Rahul sir, for showcasing this book. It's time for Sun Salutation. And then we'll go on to our the first day of the new book, Letting Go.
The Surya Namaskar with mantras. Om Mitraye Namaha. Om Ravaye Namaha. Om Suryaye Namaha. Om Bhanave Namaha. Om Khagaye Namaha. Om Pushne Namaha. Om Hiranyagarbhaye Namaha. Om Marichaye Namaha. Om Adityaye Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Arkaye Namaha. Om Bhaskaraye Namaha. Salutations to the universal friend. Salutations to the resplendent sun. Salutations to the energy that induces activity within us. Salutations to the one who illumines. Salutations to the sun moving across the sky. Salutations to the giver of strength. Salutations to the golden cosmic self. Salutations to the Lord of the dawn. Salutations to the son of Aditi, the cosmic mother. Salutations to the benevolent mother. Salutations to the energy that we praise and to the one who guides us to salvation. The sun salutation now with the names of the postures both in Sanskrit and English. Pranamasan, Hastutthanasan, Madhahastasana. Left leg back, Ashvasanchalanasana. Parvatasana. And hold this position. And now slowly progressing into the deeper version of Parvatasana, Adho Mukh Svanasana. Ashtang Namaskar. Bhujangasana. Parvatasana. Left forward, Ashvasanchalanasana. Padahastasana. Hastuttanasana. Pranamasana. On the right side, prayer position. Raised arms pose. Hand to feet pose. Right leg back, equestrian pose. Mountain pose. Hold mountain pose. And slowly moving into the deeper version of mountain, the downward facing dog. Salute with 8 limbs. Cobra. Press back to mountain. Right forward, equestrian pose. Hand to feet pose. Raised arms position. Prayer pose. One round of the sun salutation with awareness on the breathing. So exhaling our hands to the chest, pranam. Inhaling as we bend back. We exhale as we fold forward. Left leg back, inhale as we're arching back. Exhale into the forward. Hold the breath for knees, chest, chin. Inhale as we arch back. Exhale into the forward. Left leg forward, inhale. This is a back bend. Exhale whenever we bend forward. Inhale as we bend back. Exhale, hands to the chest. And on the right, deep breathing. Exhale. A deep inhale. A long exhale. Right leg back with an inhale. And exhale. Hold the breath. Inhale. And exhale. Right leg forward with a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale.
All right. So today the book that we're going to start is called Letting Go. It's by this fabulous author, namely David R. Hawkins. And this book is going to be taking us, giving us a lot of ways into how we can evolve, how we can provide love, happiness, joy, success, health, and ultimately enlightenment. This book is going to help us with all our spiritual goals and everything actually possible in life. Letting go, the pathway of surrender. All right, so let's take this forward. All right. Now, this book has beautiful sections. So I'm just going to give you a little idea about it. Introduction, of course, the mechanism of letting go. What is it? Feelings and mental mechanisms. How do you feel? What do you do? How do you let go? How are your emotions built? Why do you feel what you feel? How should you be in the survival mode? How should you work on your emotions? How should you work on any time when you have emotional crisis, which comes very, very often? How do you effectively become a positive thinker? How do you understand that I can't or I won't? Are you can't do it or you won't do it? How do you choose the positive? And how is it that the company that we keep make a difference to what we do? And how is it that we evolve with grief? When we allow grief to set in, when we accept grief, when we are able to handle loss, that is when we can evolve in our life. Very, very important to understand this book and its contents, which are absolutely amazing. Of course, this book has got not only just that, so much more. We're going to be talking about fear. We're going to be talking about desire, about anger, about pride, about courage, about acceptance. There is so much coming in our life in the form of love. What exactly is love? How should we love ourselves and others? Peace, reducing our stress and physical illnesses. So, which is again something that Louis Hay is a master of. Yet, here we will understand exactly the science behind a very brief way. Then, the relationship between the mind and the body. So, we know the three components of our being: mind, body, and soul. Here we'll realize a correlation and how they work. And finally, the most important, if we start letting go on a daily level, how we can evolve to the next level within no time, it's going to be absolutely mind boggling. And we'll keep reading, we'll keep growing, we'll keep learning. This 1+ month will be all about that. Ultimately, the intention of the series was called Life Transformation Series, right? So we will be transforming ourselves totality. Like, we've done so many science readings and so many books that have happened. Finally, this book will make us realize our relationships. It'll talk about how our vocational goals are, how we can express. So this particular sangha has barely expressed on Facebook. Hardly anyone's written stories. Hardly anyone has come out with it. The first and second sangha were very active in it, sharing everything nice every day. But I'm not judging anybody. I think you're too busy right now to be working on yourself so much. It's all right. Chapter 19 will help us understand how positive feelings help, how negative feelings, make us go down. Then it's going to be about healing also, how we can heal ourselves. Again, something with Louis Hay, but something about the doctor world as well. And of course, the question answer section is the ultimate, where we will actually love what we're reading, because we'll finally be able to resonate with it. Because if you do it now, half the things will be bouncing off your head. So that's what we are going to do in this journey of starting the book. Let's start the book. No, sir, we need to read the introduction. I don't know why you're scanning this forward. We need to understand this. Forward. This book provides a mechanism by which to unlock our innate capacities for happiness, success, health, well-being, intuition, unconditional love, beauty, inner peace, and creativity. These states and capacities are within all of us. They do not depend on any outer circumstance or personal characteristics. They do not require belief in any religious system. No single group or system allows inner peace or owns inner peace, because it belongs to the human spirit by virtue of our origin. What is our origin? Can anyone tell me? We are all made and sent on Mother Earth, reincarnated on Mother Earth, with which, what is our origin? What are the virtues of our origin? Love. Very nice. Beautiful, Akshay. And that's part of the love family. What else? Compassion, peace, the other part, love and light. Yes. So when there is love, when there is light, automatically what will come inside us will be humanity. Yes, Ritu, it will come as part of it. Peace will become part of it. If we have love and light, we always are owners of inner peace. What you are seeking is not different from your own very self. The kingdom of heaven is within us. So let's understand that we are here to find ourselves again in this book by letting go at every stage. How can something innate to us, part and parcel of our true being, be so difficult to attain? Why all the unhappiness if we are endowed with happiness? If the kingdom of heaven is within us, why do we often feel like hell? How can we get free of the sludge of non-peace that makes our journey to inner peace seem so arduous, like molasses running uphill on a freezing cold day? Now, it's nice to hear that peace, happiness, joy, love, success are intrinsic to our human spirit. But what about all of the anger, sadness, despair, vanity, jealousy, anxieties, and the little daily judgments that muffle the pristine sound of silence within us? Why do all the negative beliefs overpower the positive ones? Why? Is there really a way to shake off the sludge and be free? Dance with unimpeded joy? Love all living things? Live in our greatness and fulfill our highest potential? Become a channel of grace and beauty in the world? Now, grace, for many of you who know and many of you who don't know, grace is also a word of thank you, of gratitude. If all of us become channels of gratitude, of love and light, all we'll find in the world is beautiful stuff. All the discord, all the anxieties, jealousies, negative emotions, so as to say, or lack of love emotions, so as to say, will just fade away. In this book, Dr. Hawkins offers a pathway to the freedom that we long for, but sometimes find it difficult to attain. Yes, I agree, we all want to be free, but we're unable to be free. So here we are, moving forward. It may sound counterintuitive to get somewhere by letting go. However, he certifies from clinical and personal experience surrender is the surest route to total fulfillment. So many of us have been raised to correlate worldly and keep spiritual accomplishment with hard work, keeping our nose to the grindstone, living by the sweat of our brow, and other self-stringent axioms inherited from a culture steeped in the Protestant ethic. So all of us have grown up with some kind of ideologies. By large, मेहनत करनी पड़ती है कुछ करने के लिए ऐसे ही नहीं मिलता has been imbibed in us. जबकि that's far from truth. That's not the profound truth. According to this view, success requires suffering, toil, and effort. No pain, no gain. But where has all the effort and pain gotten us? Are we truly, deeply at peace? No. There is still the inner guilt, the vulnerability to someone's criticism, the wanting to be assured, and the resentments that fester. Why do you think all of a sudden Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, or Twitter, I will still not say Instagram's mushroomed up? Because they are encashing about this human shift of ours of wanting validation, wanting to express, wanting to be told that, oh, you're good enough. Why do people put so many pictures? And even if you put pictures, one can be expression, the other is wanting so many likes and comments, and then replying to each one of them. Because somehow we want the validation. Why are we so vulnerable that some Tom, Dick, and Harry comes and tells me that Tom, Dick, and Harry could also be somebody who's very, very close to me, or somebody who's absolutely a stranger, tells me something, and I'm so irritated. Oh my God, he said this. Why does it keep going again and again? Because we want to be assured, because we have resentments which are festering all in our life. So as all of us read this book, we'll probably really understand that the end of our rope and the mechanism of effort is something we can all reach to. Perhaps you've seen that the more you pull on the rope to hitch yourself up to where you want to be, the more frazzled and frayed it becomes. Possibly you might be wondering, isn't there an easier, better way? Are you willing to let go of the rope? What would it be like to utilize the mechanism of surrender instead of the mechanism of effort? So very simply, now imagine yourself flowing in a river. You've fallen in a river. Now you're resisting, you're holding on to a rock or a branch. Now the branch will break after because too much of water pressures, and you're fighting against the tide. Or the boulder, you will slip because it's wet now. What if you start flowing in it? Now, what if you just are fearless? Oh, let's see where the river takes me. The minute you give that comfort to the river will become like a mother who will look after you. So here you're talking about going up, the rope is becoming, it's becoming more frazzled, more tethered, more it's tearing away. What if we let go of this rope and we just start flowing and we enjoy? What if we don't pick up the rope and we start going boulder by boulder, thanking every single boulder and saying, I'm going to reach on the top without the rope? What if we start flowing and allowing the Mother Nature to support us? I can share with what it is like for a highly educated person who has already tried many different methods for self-improvement. Despite professional success, there were physical and emotional problems that never seemed to improve and eventually reached a breaking point. So I can tell you one thing, emotions make us or break us. Now we've learned so much about everything, about gratitude, about everything. But when the tough gets going, so many of us relent to it. Oh, forget it, नहीं होगा. इस समय तो gratitude कैसे समझ में आएगा? इस समय क्या अच्छा देखें? अभी कैसे कर सकते हैं? But you don't understand. When the going gets tough, that's when you have to meditate more. That's when you're supposed to be more grateful. But ulta hota hai. Why? Because emotions wo havi ho jate hain and they break us. The encounter with Dr. David R. Hawkins and his writings catalyzed a healing effect that is unexpected and dramatic. At first, there was skepticism. Having explored various spiritual, philosophical, religious avenues, Dr. David Hawkins was only finding temporary results. They were not fulfilling, they were just temporary. Finally, his study got him to the point of it will probably turn out like the rest. However, the conscientious reader in me said, I'll check it out. What have I got to lose? So I read Power versus Force, the hidden determinants of human behavior. When the book was finished, there was the inner realization I am a changed person from the one who picked up this book. That was in 2003. Now, many years later, the Catholic effect is still operating in all areas of life. So remember one thing, 2021 end, this book is coming into your life. In the beginning of 2022, also will have this book in your life, Letting Go. And if you are diligent in this 1 month of studies of this book, for life, you will be free in life because you will let it go very easily. But I request everyone, please do not give 1 day gap also. If you miss it, ensure that you done the session before the next morning comes because you're going to be working with such beautiful, profound truths and such beautiful mechanism and takes away every single day. This is not like a regular book. It's come at the last because it's the best, save the best for the last is what I believed in, right? So the foreword says, let's read it further. What convinced me of the truth of this work ultimately were the transformations in my own personal, in my own physical and non-physical consciousness. They were empirical facts that I could not deny. The healing of addiction that had been previously impossible to overcome. So I'll tell you something, all of us are addicted. Somebody, okay, addictions are many kinds. Somebody to alcohol, somebody to extra food, somebody to extra TV, somebody to addicted to your homework, the domestic jobs that you do, or somebody addicted to your work. Now, addiction is not great, any kind of addiction, whatever addiction is. Some people are addicted to being perfect and looking after the family perfectly. Now, here in this book, we will let go all of that also. And believe me, if I say so, life is going to become absolutely magical. Now, despite many, many efforts, addictions haven't been able to go. So say it's about food, it's about weight, it's about your face, it's about your whatever, everything will be finally going. Now, despite many sincere attempts, freedom from several allergies like a pet dandler, poison ivy, a mold, a hay fever, letting go of long-standing resentments with the capacity to see the hidden gifts within the various life traumas I had been through. So I'll tell you again, these twists and turns in life, these knocks and shocks in life, these life traumas in life are the real teachers in our life. No school will ever teach them. The way your traumas, your twists and turns, your knocks and shocks will teach you. And this is where our real learning starts. And this book will be taking us through all of that and making us realize, oh my God, I've been taught so much, I've been blessed so much. Very, very important to understand. What is also important for us to understand is that you are here in life for a reason. And that reason is just to spread love and light. We all have been given such beautiful gifts of life. They're hidden. And where are they hidden? In all the life traumas that we've been through. But we haven't emerged out of them because we have subdued ourselves, we've just undercovered them, underplayed our emotions, and we've let them just be there. Daba diya naam nimko. Now, resolution of several inner conflicts related to self-acceptance and life purpose will be resolved here actually. So what is my life purpose? शायद आपको इस दुनिया जर्नी के दौरान मिल जाएगा. आपने अपने आप को एक्सेप्ट किया है कि नहीं, समझ में आ जाएगा एक्सेप्ट किया है कि नहीं. आई कैन टेल यू मैंने अपने आप को एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया, बट जब ये बुक वापस लाइफ में आ रही है, आई नो दिस टाइम इट्स गोइंग टू बी एन अमेजिंग ब्रेक थ्रू बिकॉज आई कैन टेल यू दीज बुक्स हैव बीन वेरी बेनिफिशियल, बट प्रॉब्लम इज we can't continue the reading. And now tell me, how many of you are tapping now also? So if there are 20 of us right now, probably 4-5 people will say I'm tapping genuinely. Others will just forget it. Others in रोज नहीं तो नहीं, हाँ कभी याद करती हूँ. So I mean I'm happy to see that there are 4 yeses. They're very important for us to know that we don't have to forget this. इसके लिए बेस्ट क्या रहेगा, जो आप लोग को अभिप्रीति जर्नल्स दिए गए हैं वहां अपने लिए लिख लो, चेकलिस्ट बना लो. शुरू में 21 days आपको प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ेगा to become a master of what you're reading and learning. So let's understand. These major breakthroughs at the physical and non-physical levels were concretely observable, not only by myself, but those around me. So आपके जो breakthroughs आए हैं, आपके challenges आए हैं, उनको आप observe करोगे, दुनिया observe करेगी. They would ask you, how do you explain the transformation? Now, if you're faced with that question, I will suggest that let's read the new book, Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender. It lays out the pragmatics of the inner process of transformation that is experienced upon reading his earlier books. Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender provides a roadmap to a freer life for anyone who's willing to become free, who's willing to lead a free life, and who's willing to take this trip. Our life will be changed for the better if we apply the principles described in this book. They're not difficult to understand or to implement. In fact, they're so easy and they're so amazing. They cost us nothing. What they cost us is our love, is our attention while we read the book to understand the principles. They do not require special attire or travel to an exotic country. The major requirement for the journey is a willingness to let go of the attachment to your current experience of life. Dr. Hawkins explains the small part of ourselves that is attached to the familiar, no matter how painful and inefficient it is. It may seem bizarre, but our self with the small s actually enjoys an impoverished life and all the negativity that goes with it. Feeling unworthy, being invalidated, judging others and ourselves, being inflated, always winning and being bright, grieving the past, fearing the future, nursing our wounds, craving assurance, and seeking love instead of giving it. ये जो हमारा smaller self है कौन है कोई बताएगा मुझे? So we have a higher self, which is also the Atma. Paramatma is the ultimate one, जिससे वो connected है. A smaller self क्या है? Can anyone tell me? What is a smaller self with a small s? What is the author talking about? Conscious mind, okay, nice. Negative beliefs, yes, inner child. Okay, so let's get this very clear. This small s is pretty much a part of our programming. This smaller self is very highly guided by ego, by lack of love. The higher self is all about love and light, but this smaller self is about dark times. Now, these dark times are coming in because we're allowing the negative or the lack of love feelings to come over and be the winner. Very important for us to let go of these so that all we can get is, in fact, you don't have to get, we have to just refine the love that is stored within us. We are finding love from outside. We are seeking love. Ye log hame validate karenge. Log bolenge, you're looking so beautiful. Oh, you're looking so handsome. Oh, you're so amazing. Oh, you're such a nice person. Why can't we say that to ourselves? And believe me, that will happen in this book. Are we going to imagine a new life for ourselves, characterized by effortless success, freedom from resentment, gratitude for all that happened to us, inspiration, love, joy, win-win resolutions, happiness, and creative expressions? One of the biggest hurdles to happiness, he tells us, is the belief that it isn't possible. There's got to be a catch. It's good to be true. It can happen for others, but not for me. And we let this programming go. So the problem with us is we don't trust the process. Problem with us is we're not at peace. Problem with us is our mind is not very gentle and harmonious, and there's no approval of ourselves. This book will set us free. This book is so amazing. The gift of a person and teacher like Dr. Hawkins is that we see and experience a being who is that happiness, who is that boundless joy, who is that unsellable peace. This book was written because he himself described and experienced the power of the mechanism it describes. To read about this and in the presence of such a liberated gives us the catalyst, the hope, the launch for our own inward trek. And so, despite the cynicism of the small self, there is this higher self, this self with the big S, that beckons us on. We may first hear its call as coming from an advanced consciousness, such as Dr. Hawkins, a teacher, a guide, a sage, who has realized the self. Then, as we have our own experiences of truth, healing, and expansion, we hear the call as coming from an inner place. The self of the teacher and that of the student is one and the same, says Dr. Hawkins. So, आप शायद इस बात से agree करोगे ना कि हम सब जो 20 जने हैं लॉकडाउन सेशन में, all of us, our higher self has the same language. Will you all agree with me? It speaks the same language because it is connected to that one universal principle of love and light, of the Paramatma, of that one universal energy. So अगर higher self same language में बात कर रहा है, so same हुआ ना, उसके different formations different body में है, but actually the same. So अगर हमारे teacher Dr. Hawkins हमको कुछ सिखा रहे हैं, हमारे higher self को समझ में आएगा ही आएगा. So can we tune in the bandwidth? Can we increase the bandwidth and just tune into that? Or I would say let's decrease the bandwidth to just understand the one track thing. Dr. Hawkins radiates the truth of this book. As a serious seeker who saw much of contemporary spiritual writing as shallow, I want to verify the authenticity of this work. It is all important to know, does this author speak from a true inner realization? The answer is yes, yes, yes. Close observations made during several years of interviews and visits confirm the advanced state. In this book, he reminds us of the law of consciousness that says we are all connected at the energetic level, and a higher vibration, such as love, had a powerful effect on the lower vibration, such as fear. I feel the truth of this law whenever I am with him. His energy field transmits healing love and profound peace. As he explains in this book, these higher states are available to all of us at all the time. No matter where we are in life, this book will illumine our next step. The mechanism of surrender that Dr. Hawkins described is applicable to the entire inner journey, from the letting go of childhood resentments to the final surrender of the ego itself. Thus, the book is equally useful for the professional interested in worldly success, the client in therapy seeking to heal emotional issues, the patient diagnosed with an illness, and the spiritual seeker devoted to enlightenment. The important step for all of us, he advises, is to acknowledge that we have negative feelings as a consequences of our preconditional thinking, of our human condition, and that we are willing to look beyond that without any judgment. The high state of non-dual awareness may be our goal, but how do we handle the persistently dualistic small self that wants us to see ourselves as better than or worse than another? This smaller self, no, it loves labels. Akshay is nice, Jitendraji is wonderful, Kamakshi is a doctor, Supriya is a believer. Who has given these tags? किसने tag दिए? किसने बोला मैं कम हूं, आप ज्यादा हो, मैं और ज्यादा हूं? किसने comparison सिखाया? Smaller self ने. Because the smaller self is about ahem, is about ego. और जहाँ ego है, वहाँ oneness नहीं है. So let's understand we are going to shatter ourselves away from this world and we're going to enter a world where we are meant to be. So I'm very grateful to all of you for having joined this Sangha 3. In my opinion, it has one of the best books possible. And this book is like the cherry on the cake for all the 3 seasons that I've had right now. And it's really, really, really amazing. Back to the forward. In his previous 10 books, Dr. Hawkins has described the non-dual state of enlightenment with a rare pristine awareness. As he says humorously at the start of many lectures, we begin with the end. Indeed, in his lectures and books, he has thoroughly illuminated the highest states of consciousness that are the culmination of human inner evolution. Now, in this book, published in the latter part of his life, he's taking us back to a common starting point, acknowledging the existence of the small self. We must start where we are going to get to where we want to go. If we want to go from here to there, we don't get there faster if we fool ourselves and say we are starting from nearby. By thinking we are closer than we are to the goal, we actually make the trip longer. As he explains in the book, it takes courage and self-honesty to see negativity and smallness in ourselves. So let's not fool ourselves कि अरे अब तो बस 1 महीना बचा है ना, 1 महीना चलो कर लेंगे, अब तो it will end. The end is the toughest ना, जहाँ आप हल्की हो जाते हो कि अब तो कुछ नहीं है, वहीं प्रॉब्लम आती है. So let's start this book with the feeling कि this is my first day and I'm going to give my 100%. जो अभी तक हुआ मैंने 100% दिया नहीं दिया doesn't matter, मैंने कैमरास ऑन रखे नहीं रखे doesn't matter. अब मैं क्रेडिबिलिटी दूंगा. अब मुझे कोई बताएगा कि कैमरास हम ऑफ रखते हैं, how does the body language become? Can someone tell me? कल पहली बार मेरा कैमरा ऑफ था because I was traveling and I was doing from mobile. I forgot my laptop ironically, and guess what? Even I was like sluggish, and even as a coach also how was my energy? It wasn't as great. I was realizing it. Because you become so in the, you know, concentration, yahan dekhoge, wahan dekhoge, अरे लेट जाता हूँ, रज़ाई ऊपर लगा लेता हूँ. Why? But the minute your cameras are on, you're like, okay, back straight. And that's when you're alert. Why do the back straight is so important? Because our chakras are in alignment. That's why back straight is important. चाहे हम अगर ऐसे भी हैं तो back to सीधी है ना, in verses with something else. So I will request, अब आप it doesn't matter to me, right? I mean, you have paid up. Your money is going towards charity. It doesn't matter ना कि आप class में आ रहे हो नहीं आ रहे हो. But अपने लिए इस book को करो. Because this book is a cherry on the cake, if I say so. And please, and I've been mentioning to all of you, but I think आप लोग का message नहीं जा रहा है as group leaders and as group angels and guardians to your members. There is no reason for people not to be coming in the morning. If they're not coming, that means you're not inspiring them enough. There's so many people who are absolutely worthy readers. They're still not here because of their laziness and because of us not being able to inspire. So let's look within that what can we do to make them come back in this journey. All right, back to this book. If we acknowledge our condition to ourselves the way we are, if we can acknowledge the negativity that we've inherited from the human condition, we have the possibility to surrender and be free of it. We simply need to be willing to acknowledge and accept that part of a human experience is about acceptance. By accepting it, we can transcend it, and Dr. Hawkins shows us the way. पहली बात हमको समझना पड़ेगा कि हम इस जर्नी में आए हैं because we were meant to come here. And बहुत चीजें हैं जो हमारे अंदर शॉर्टकमिंग्स हैं. शॉर्टकमिंग दिखेंगी तो आगे हम उनको लॉन्ग रन में आगे बढ़ा पाएंगे, right? In this highly pragmatic book, he illumines a technique by which we can transcend and break through to the freedom of and where we belong. This state of inner freedom and unalloyed happiness is our birthright, he says. As we read, we draw encouragement, inspiration from the real life clinical examples, which are going portrayed in this book, one after the other. These are shared from his decades of psychiatric practice. In case after case, we see the power of surrender applied to nearly every area of life, be it relationships, physical health, work environment, recreational activities, spiritual process, family, life, sexuality, emotional healing, and addiction recovery. We learn that the answer to the problems we face is within us. सारे questions का जवाब हमारे अंदर है. By letting go of all the inner blocks to it, the truth of our inner self shines forth and the path to peace is revealed. Other spiritual teachers have of inner peace, only real solution to these as well as collective conflicts. Inner disarmament first, and then outer the disarmament, the Dalai Lama. That's the book he wrote. Be the change you want to see in the world, says Gandhi. The implication is clear. Because we're all part of the whole, when we heal ourselves, something in ourselves, we heal it to the world. Each individual consciousness at the energetic level, therefore, works. Personal healings emerges into collective healing. Dr. Hawkins may be the first to attempt to understand the principle in light of scientific and clinical applications. The crucial point, by changing ourselves, we change the world. We become more loving on the inside, healing occurs on the outside. Much like the rising of the sea level lifts all ships, as a radiance and of unconditional love within a human heart lifts all of life. So very, very important for us to understand. Dr. Hawkins is a world-renowned author, psychiatrist, clinician, spiritual teacher, and researcher of consciousness. Details of his extraordinary life are given in the book about the author section at the back of the book. His unique book effulges from a wellspring of universal compassion and is dedicated to the elevation of suffering of all dimensions of life. The gift of Dr. Hawkins' work to human evolvement is beyond what can be said about it. The state of enlightenment is totally complete in its bliss, such as that one should never leave it except out of total surrender of love to God and to one's fellow beings, to share the gift that was given. This book on letting go and all of his work in the world is a result of that surrender. All of you will read in one of the chapters, there was a very deep surrender that allowed the resumption of his personal consciousness in order to fulfill certain commitments in the world. The state of oneness was not lost or left, but extraordinary love had to be directed towards challenge of verbalizing the ineffable. You will notice that some of his pronouns do not fit grammatical convention. For example, our life. Yet they are true to the experience of a spiritual state that knows the impersonal oneness of all of life. So all of us have oneness, right? Our souls talk the same language. We are one. There's energy exchange. And here we are directing our energy towards finding that oneness in our life. Now, many of us will notice that some of his pronouns do not fit, such as one life. Why does one life is something which is not fitting? Because we feel, no, your life is different, my life is different. यहाँ कोई भी है जो बोलेगा नहीं हमारी सबकी life तो same है. नहीं. So that's why this our life, deeper way, you will probably not understand it, but it is actually one life. Dr. Hawkins would re-enter the world of logic and language in order to share a map of consciousness with us, so that we might also complete our destiny. Speaks volume of his selfless love for humanity. By showing us the path of liberation, the pathway to surrender, Dr. Hawkins gives us chance of reaching it. Thank you, Dr. Hawkins, for the gift of total surrender. This book is amazing, this foreword written in 2012, and tomorrow we will read the second part of it. I just wanted to let you know that this is one of the most magical books, and I'm telling you, tomorrow is a day when we read about the preface, but today is when we have done this. So please wake up, awaken your friends who haven't come, your Sangha Mitras, and tell yourselves that come what may, I will be a part of this journey with my full-on work. Let's do this. Can we do this? Yeah? Lovely. All right. Rahul sir, let's have the art of creative thinking. And I will request Akshay to read that. And thank you, my dear Ruchi, for every day reading for me. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. And I'm loving the actual, even though my throat is pretty much fine, I love the fact that somebody or the other is breaking the monotony. So in fact, we'll embrace that for the next coming 1 month. Whoever wants to read, you can always message me. So let's just see how you read. So here we are. To stand out, work out what you stand for. Akshay, raise your hand, please. So very, very important for all of us to understand this fact about us. So let's read.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Write a manifesto that sets out your values as a statement of principles and a call to action. A manifesto is a set of standards to use as a guide. Signposts to refer back to when you feel lost. Some of it may be nonsense or contradictory, but it captures the spirit of what drives a creative person. Put down messages to yourself that remind you of what you care about most passionately. Then refer to them when you feel you're going off course. Call it a manifesto, a personal mission statement, a vision board, or a list. Taking the time to identify what you stand for is worthwhile. Marinity wrote the first art manifesto of the 20th century for the futurists. It wasn't cold and logical like a corporation or a political party's manifesto might be, but conveyed intense emotion. It was a random set of statements that declared futurism to be a rejection of the past and a celebration of speed, violence, and youth, the things they cared about most. Other manifesto proclamations for the Dada movement, poet Tristan Tzara's 1980 Dada Manifesto is a blustering rant. Dada does not mean anything. Andre Breton's 1924 Manifesto to Surrealism begins. We are still living under the reign of logic. He rails against the supremacy of logic and sees unleashing the subconscious as the solution. The designer John Maida, emotion. More emotions are better than less. The writer Leo Tolstoy, change nothing in your style of living, even if you become 10 times richer. Mark Rothko, Adolf Gottlieb, and Barnett Newman. This world of imagination is fancy-free and violently opposed to common sense. After scoring the manifestos of so many companies, the only worthwhile or interesting line I could find was from Apple's. We believe in saying no to thousands of projects so that we can really focus on the few that are truly important and meaningful to us. Developing a set of principles you believe in and constantly strive to uphold is an invaluable tool. Manifestos are traditionally public declarations, but everyone can also have a personal manifesto. Don't make it a dreary list of worthy intentions drenched in morality. It's a medium through which your present self can correspond with your future self. The only way to stand out is to work out what you stand for.
Thank you, Akshay. So, what is important? Me. And this me has been the most neglected. So, this book is actually also in alignment with what we're going to be studying very soon about letting go. So, it's very important for us to realize what are we made up of and why are we made the way we are and what is our life's purpose, and to give myself importance. Man often becomes what he believes himself to be, says Mahatma Gandhi. So, what do we want to become? What is our intention? What is our mantra? Think about it. Now's the time to move for the heart thought. Anybody apart from Akshay and Ruchi can read the heart thought, please, because they read for us every day, any which ways, and they will be reading for us. Thank you, Amit, for raising your hand. Let's see what the heart thought for the day is. Let's see what celebration is for the day. But very important for us to realize that we are now at the most important juncture in our life of creating magic. Now, if this beautiful, profound, and yet simple book is teaching us, we are absolutely at the right place at the right time, learning the right things right now. So today we are at this beautiful, a lovely heart thought, opening to the new. How wonderful. The day that we are opening ourselves to letting go journey, here we are. So all my experiences are right for me. So those of us who have contemplated and thought that, oh, ये सही नहीं हुआ, ऐसा नहीं हुआ, ये ठीक नहीं था. अरे ये important था तभी हमारे साथ हुआ है. Acceptance of that. Fear comes from not trusting the process of life to be there for you. So a lot of us say ना कि नहीं भगवान उसके साथ ज्यादा है मेरे साथ कम है या life सही नहीं चल रही है या ये सही नहीं है. Everything is happening in the right place. The next time you are frightened, say, I trust the process of life to take care of me. Such a beautiful affirmation. जब आप लाइफ के प्रोसेस को ट्रस्ट करते हो, लाइफ विल गिव यू सो मच मोर. इट्स अबाउट ट्रस्ट, राइट? जिसको भी मैं ट्रस्ट करूंगी, वो उस इंसान को पता है कि ये मुझे ट्रस्ट करती है, वो मेरे लिए ज्यादा करेगा बिकॉज आई ट्रस्ट. That's what life is also about. So Amit, let's read this beautiful heart thought. Thank you.
Yeah. All my experiences are right for me. We have been going through doors since the moment we were born. There was a big door and a big change. We came to this planet to experience life this particular time around. We chose our parents, and then we have been through many doors since then. We came equipped with everything within us that we need to live this life fully and richly. We have all the wisdom. We have all the knowledge. We have all the abilities and all the talents. We have all the love and all the emotions that we need. Life is here to support us and take care of us. And we need to know and that trust that it is so. Doors are constantly closing and constantly opening. And if we stay centered in ourselves, then we are always safe, no matter which doorway we pass through. Even when we pass through the last doorway on this planet, it is not the end. It is the beginning of another new adventure. So let us know that we are always safe. It is all right to experience change. Today is a new day. We will have many wonderful new experiences. We are loved, we are safe, and so it is.
I also let this page be open right now. Thank you, Amit. How profound, how wonderfully Louis has written this. So did you see one last beautiful line? If we are centered, balanced, and aligned, and we tell ourselves and we are very safe no matter what happens, no matter which doorway comes, and if we realize that even the last doorway on this planet is not the end, it is the beginning of another new adventure. So, this book of letting go will also teach us the science of dying, because it's just a physical death. It's not the death of a spirit, that's eternal. So today is a new day. So many new wonderful new experiences. We are loved, we are safe, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Amit and everyone. All right, time for us to meditate. And let's just meditate on who we are. All right. Yes, Magical Monday indeed. So let's go for it. I don't know, Akshay, what we'll name. Let me just go to the meditation and see what we'll name. Let's think of the name at the end. Okay. All right, everyone. Um, our back straight, our feet firmly placed on the ground below. Our hearts centered, balanced, aligned. Do the same for our body. Let's have the ripple effect of our deep inhale. So let's inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Life is magical. Life is powerful. Life is a doorway into new beginnings. Let's embrace this beautiful life with our life lessons, our experiences, our learnings, and of a curious mind that is always a seeker, seeking for so much more that life has to offer. Ultimately, all of us are going to be angled at learning to let go, to be enlightened, to learn the art of living, to learn the art of dying, to learn the art of surrendering, to learning the art of letting go. We are all learners, seekers in our beautiful life, in our beautiful world. Here we are, going inward, asking ourselves of who we are. Let's ask ourselves a question. What is it that I love? And let's go inward to hear the answers. We can go deeper within ourselves if some particular elements came and ask that, is it what I'm asking? What am I wanting? Is it my worldly goals or are they my personal goals? Is it about name, fame, recognition, which is just worldly? Or is it about me? What is it I want? Who am I? I am the soul. What is my intention? What is it that I love, genuinely I love? Let's ask ourselves this question. You can simultaneously ask your inner self that, okay, if you like something, what do you do for that to find that particular element to enhance that virtue? For example, if my higher self says, or if my inner voice says that I am love, so what can I do to be in love or to find love? Who am I? What do I want? How do I find it? Let's go deep within ourselves to simply realize what existence is all about. Let's be open and receptive to all the learnings that are coming our way. Let's be open and receptive to being on track and not to get sidetracked. Let's tell ourselves, I have chosen this life and these lessons and these experiences for advancement of my journey. So if something seems promising, let me try my level best to give it my level best. And then if I falter for some reasons, known, unknown, it's all right. I'm not judging. But as long as I have a mantra, a sankalp, an intention, that's what counts. Am I ready to go in a world of finding myself? Am I ready to go in a world of improving on my human life, my human health? Am I ready to go in a world of doing my human responsibilities to the best of love and light? Am I ready to be more creative? Am I ready to have financial success? Am I ready for emotional healing? Am I ready for vocational fulfillment? Which means, am I ready for expressing as poems, as writings, as sharings, as reflections? Am I ready for a good relationship with myself and with others? Am I ready for my sexuality, or am I still covering it? Am I ready for my spiritual growth? Am I ready? Am I ready to work on all the areas within my mental health, within my psychology, within my medicinal world, within helping myself, within addiction recovery, within spiritual development? Am I ready? Finally, am I ready to find the inner blocks in my being, the inner blocks to having a life full of happiness, love, joy, success, health, and ultimately enlightenment? Am I ready to remove those blockages? Am I ready for the ultimate surrender, the letting go? Am I tuned in for living a magnificent life, a committed life? Is my primary aim now to truly transform my life? Or am I still looking for outside help? Can I understand that these beautiful learnings that are coming in my life every morning are my own calling? Anybody can be a Nimit Matra, anybody can be a channel, but am I the recipient? Am I ready to acknowledge that, yes, I wanted this to understand, so it is coming on to me? Am I ready to embrace it? Life is truly magical. Life is truly beautiful. Life is absolutely amazing. Am I learning to evolve? Am I learning to let go? Let go. Let go. Now see yourselves just letting go. Feel your body drop all the weight, feel lighter. Just you want to slug, just do it. Find yourself relaxing, letting go. When I am now one with the universal energy, I feel the sense of oneness, where each of us is holding hands and working for our wonderful life ahead. Let there be love, let there be light. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let's bow down to Mother Earth and thank her for all her beautiful virtues that she keeps helping us to bloom with. Let's look at a life level, our eye level, and thank our wonderful life for the enriching, deepening, enlightening, empowering sessions every single day. May we evolve to the better version of ourselves, and may we reach a place where we're meant to reach. May we be enlightened. And may we learn the art of letting go and flourish in our life in all dimensions of its being. So it is. Dear present, I thank you and I bless you. I thank you for waking up in time for this learning, for waking up every single moment, for doing what you chose to do. Thank you for sowing the seeds of prosperity for the coming future. Dear future, you're absolutely magical, wonderful, amazing. You're here for a reason, for a purpose. And I know I can see you in its bright light. And all I know is today, whatever I'm doing, I'm investing in you being absolutely magical. And so it is. Be blessed. Let's open our hands to the universe and thank the universe for its magnanimity, for helping us learn such beautiful things on this beautiful journey of our life. The universe, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are open and receptive to all your love, to all the light, to all the healing, to all the blessings from all the angels, from all the guardians, from all the divinities, from all the teachers, authors, coaches in this realm or the other, in this dimension or the other, in this place or another, in this plane or another. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's fold our hands in gratitude. Let's rub our hands in gratitude. Bless our wonderful face. May we see better, hear better, say better, speak better, feel better. Our neck, our shoulders, arms, our backside, our feet, soles for feet, our front side. Finally, our hands on our heart. Dear beautiful heart, thank you for lighting the lamp of love in me, the lamp of hope in me, the lamp of prosperity in me, the lamp of light in me. May I be led in this beautiful world of light, which is living in God's heightened terror. May I understand that God is all about grand overall design. May I be right now in this world of energy, in this world of love, where each one of us let our virtues expand. May we have power, may we have love, may we have light. Let's be blessed. Love, light, healing, blessings, and abundance. Akshay, Kamakshi ji, Jitendra ji, Ritu, Vijay ji, Nikita, Ruchi, Pratima ji, Amit, Richa, Usha ji, Anita, Manisha, Ankur, Surendra ji, Neha, Supriya, Peena ji, Rahul sir, Amrita ma'am, and to all sentient beings. Lots of love, lots of light. Once again, very, very grateful to Akshay for reading and for recording. Very grateful to Ruchi for reading. And you can name this meditation Letting Go. And to everyone, thank you, thank you, thank you for making my mornings more magical. And Amit, get Shivani back. Even if she's unwell, she can listen to it on the side. I know sometimes lazy mornings come in. And Usha ji, try to get Gyanji back, because this is a time for reading a new book, and this book will really help in our emotional spiritual evolution. And Akshay, if Ankita is interested, tell her to join in the mornings, because this book will help her as well. And to everyone, if you're counted, and Kamakshi ji, you too had registered with Rajiv ji, but he's not been coming. I understand, that's okay. But ask him if he's interested now for the final leg. It's just a month to go. If he can invest his mornings, this book will help everyone. And Anita, and to everyone, whoever you want your spouses to come now, you on this beautiful leg journey, and maybe having them with you will work on it. Surendra ji, anybody in your family, of course, Arvind ji registered, he's not coming. Ask Saloni if she wants to come instead of Arvind ji. It'll help you as a family. So everyone, just a humble request, Let's start our mornings and make them more magical, because these two books are really going to help us. Refuse to choose is very important for us to make ourselves the choice, and letting go is very important for us to evolve. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Lots of love, lots of light. Let's see each other tomorrow morning at 5. Thank you.